Hello, world. What separated your deep ball from everybody else?
My deep ball, it has a little secret sauce to it, man.
Never get too high, never get too low, but just keep moving.
The whole story is Carlos never beat me in any kind of sports in high school.
Welcome to the Orange is the New Black podcast. I'm your host, Ace Boogie, joined by my co-host, Zim. Zim, say what's up.
Hello, world. How's everybody doing this evening? You are rocking with the Orange is the New Black podcast. We have a really, really good show. We got, we stay connected. And, I don't know how we do it, but we just keep on doing it. But we got none other than the wide receivers coach, Troy Walters of the Cincinnati Bengals with us this evening. How you doing tonight, Troy? How you feel?
I'm feeling great, man. Feeling great. Getting ready for the biggest game of our lives.
No, that's facts. That's facts. So obviously, Troy, you came on with the Bengals in 2020 as the assistant wide receiver coach. Obviously, that was a year where after you get Joe Burrow, a lot of people saw T. Higgins sitting up there, including myself. What was it about T. Higgins and about that process that made you want to make him the pick at 33?
Yeah, we knew going into the draft that we needed to address the receiver position. We needed some more playmakers, young playmakers. We knew AJ was a great player, but he was getting up there in age, and so we knew going in that we needed to draft a receiver early. Obviously, we took Joe Burrow at number 1, but then when he was still there, we had him as a first-round pick, and when he was still there at the beginning of the second round, it was a no-brainer. His size, his athleticism, athletic ability. He's still young, so he still had room to grow. And we just saw a guy that could learn from AJ, learn from some of the older guys, and then when he was ready, he'd be a phenomenal football player.
I appreciate that insight on that too. But was it a situation, just keeping on with T. Higgins, was it a thing when you got to day 2 where everybody was like in disbelief, or was there like a plan that you all actually thought that T. Higgins would be there? And then I'm gonna ask you something crazy. Was there another guy that you felt like the Bengals were targeting around that same time?
You just never know with the draft. We had T as a first round talent. But you just never know what other teams are thinking. So when he was still there, we were ecstatic. He was at the top of the list. There were, 1 or 2 other receivers. Michael Pittman was another guy that we had high. But when it came to T, Bob McNeil went down there for the pro day and sat with T and talked to him and understood he was a great young man and character and loved football and so just his upside and he played at Clemson. He's used to winning championships. He had that that's big around here, bringing guys in that have won games, won championships. It was a no-brainer, and we're glad to have him.
No, that's facts. So obviously you knock it out of the park with T. Then you come back 2021 and JaMarr Chase is staring you in the face. Just talk about that process, because we had a civil war in Bengals Nation with Panay and Chase, but it's obvious that the Bengals made the right pick. But what was just the mindset? Because a lot of people thought that we were just going to go with the offensive lineman.
Yeah, it was. We needed a receiver, a playmaker, a difference maker. We needed offensive linemen. So the need was there for both positions. We just felt as an organization that JaMarr was going to make an immediate impact with his athletic ability, with his skill set, and then with his relationship with Joe Burrow. We felt like he could come in and play right away and be dominant right away. It was funny. I had a Zoom meeting with him leading up to the combine, leading up to his pro day, and I asked him, what he was going to run the 40 in. And most guys you ask, they're telling you 4.2, 4.1, 4.3, and he said 4. He was hoping 4.5, and so I thought that was kind of strange. Like 4.5, you're top 5 pick. 4.5. And so when I went to his pro day, he busted a 4.3, mid to low 4.3s, and I told him he's a smart man, under promise and over deliver, and and that's what he did, and had a phenomenal pro day. And as I got to know him, just a phenomenal young man, very humble, great head on his shoulder. And we knew that when he came, he would be able to pick up the offense and do some special things.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I guess like some of the stuff you were saying too about like T, and we were talking about and we had a chance to meet T's mom. We interviewed her on the show. We've also interviewed JaMarr's father, and he was like, "Man, we didn't even talk to the Bengals, like up into the draft." Do you think like was there concern when you were going into the draft that another team would leap in front of the Bengals, and if so, what was that team?
Like I said, you just never know what teams are thinking. We kind of mapped it out, and we felt pretty good about him still being there. We didn't know what Atlanta would do. We thought that they would take a skill guy, and they ended up taking Kyle Pitts. And then San Francisco, you just never knew if they were going to take a quarterback, if they were going to, what they were going to do. So it's always some tense moments leading up to your pick. But thank God that he was still there, and once he was still there, it was a no-brainer, and it didn't take us long to turn in our selection.
When you talk about these guys, we call them amigos, and we talked about T. Higgins, we talked about JaMarr, but there's also Tyler Boyd. Just talk about, I guess, what all of those guys kind of bring in their own unique way.
Yeah, he's the veteran. He's the pro. He's been around. He's been here during the tough times, and so he kind of sets the culture. Comes to work every day. I've never seen him in a bad mood or take a day off. Rarely misses a practice. So he's the tone setter. Guys kind of gravitate towards him. Very funny, keeps things light. But when it's time to work, he works. And that's kind of how we are as a group. We love to have fun, kid around, joke around. But when we step foot on the field, it's time to produce, and we know we're gonna have fun when we do produce. And so Tyler, he owns the slot. He's crafty. He knows how to get open, knows how to separate. Awesome hands, doesn't drop the ball. So he's Mr. Consistent. And then T. Higgins, dynamic, long, athletic, long catch radius. So when the ball's in the air, he's going to go make the play. Really has come a long way from since last year, those 50-50 balls. Last year, he didn't quite bring in at times. This year, he's made those plays, and it's really elevated his game. He's become a better route runner. He's faster than a lot of people think. So his speed combined with his size and length makes him a pretty dangerous receiver. And then JaMarr, he's just explosive, really has a running back body, running back mentality, playing receiver, explosive down the field, can separate, strong. You'll see a lot of times guys just fly off on those 50-50 contested balls. Guys will just fly off of them, and he won't even nudge them that much, but he's just strong upper body, strong lower body, great with the ball in his hands. So we've got a great combination of guys that can really do it all.
Man, look, you talk about the veteran. How crazy is that to say veteran? The guy's 27, like in the prime of his career. Like that's how crazy. Like we do these things now a lot on Twitter Spaces, and we do the stuff that you guys can't do, and that's talk to other teams about this wide receiver core. And that's how Ace came up with the Migos. That's how I've come up. Like you've probably never seen me before, but I've absolutely been telling the world this is the greatest wide receiving core the world has ever seen, and I mean that 100 times. Do you feel like you've seen? Is there another wide receiving core that you thought like maybe people aren't even thinking about, that you could think of, maybe a trio that you would say is maybe on the level of the Migos?
But back when I played in Indy, we had Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, Brandon Stokely, and I think one year all three went for 1,000.
Yeah.
With
2008.
No, 2004, I believe.
Yeah, 4, I think.
2004.
2004.
You thinking of the Cardinals?
Peyton broke all the passing records.
Yeah,
I want to say all three of them went for 1,000.
They did.
Yeah, I remember
they did.
that.
So
Yeah.
all day, every day. I know you probably have your own goals, but I tell people we're gonna have 3 guys with 1,000 yards. So I was very upset that Tyler Boyd didn't play the last games.
Yeah, that was my goal as well this year, and I felt like we could handle it. But it is what it is, and those guys had great years. And the thing about our guys is they don't complain. Tyler maybe went a game or two with not having a lot of targets, not having a lot of catches or yards, and he didn't care. He just wanted to win. The same for JaMarr and T. Those guys are they're team players. They love when their teammates have success, and when their numbers call, they're ready to make plays, and they're excited when other guys make plays. So that's the culture of the group. That's the culture of the team. We have unselfish guys on this team that put the team first.
No, you're right about that. It's funny because me and Zim, we actually went to the Jags game, Thursday Night Football, and after that, the entire wide receiver corps, we saw them out later that night, and they all went together, and even Puka and everybody was stuck together, and we thought that was so dope. And that really meant a lot. Just that statement of them being all together and having fun. Auden Tate and all of those guys being out and supporting each other was definitely a dope thing to see after that game.
Yeah, I asked the guys coming into this season what they wanted to do differently. What did they want, change wise? And one of the things that I think Mike Thomas said that he wanted us to be closer. Now, last year you had COVID, you really couldn't hang out much, so it was tough. But that's one of the things that wanted to make sure that we were a tight brotherhood and guys had each other's backs and we played for one another. Felt like they've done that and they enjoyed being around each other. And so as we go through the playoffs, it's almost like, you don't want to lose because you knew that would be the end of being around these guys. Right. So after we beat Las Vegas, it's, hey, we got one more week together. After we beat Tennessee, hey, we got one more week. And then after this game, it's like, hey, we got 2 more weeks together. And so it's just being around the guys. That's the fun part. Yeah, we're trying to win a Super Bowl, get a ring and all that, but it's just the being around the guys day in and day out, man. It's been special.
Yeah, every time somebody retires from the league or something, that's the number one thing that they say is like, man, I'm gonna just miss just traveling with the guys, being part of a team. You were talking to us off air about coming into like the expectations, I think, for like that maybe the standard that you held for these guys coming in. Can you talk to the people kind of just reiterating some of the stuff you were saying preparation wise for like the weather and getting these guys ready and how that coincide with your belief of going to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I told him at the beginning of the year that we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to win the Super Bowl. I told him that at the beginning of the year, and no matter what happened after a tough loss in New York or 2 bad losses, Pittsburgh or not Pittsburgh, but Cleveland. We lost to the Jets and then Cleveland and then Chargers and San Francisco right after that. I told him, hey, our standards don't change. Whether we win or we lose, whether we're 8-0 or 0-8, we're going to come to work. We're going to prepare and we're going to get ready to go out there and play ball. We're not going to get too high when things are good or too low when things are bad. And I always kept in mind that, we're going to win the division. We're going to the playoffs. And probably halfway through the season when it started getting cold, I told those guys, hey, we need to start preparing like playoffs. And one of the things I told them was you can't wear all these layers and we're outside and it's cold and put all these hoodies and all. We got to play. We got to practice like we're going to play. So Thursdays was, game day and whatever we're going to wear in the game. And you notice we don't wear sleeves or hoodies and all that. We're no sleeves. And so I told them Thursday, we got to get used to playing in the cold because in order to win AFC championship, you're going to play in the cold. And they bought into that and they come out Thursday with no sleeves on. And so just speaking things into existence, man, and just always showing them where we're going is important to me. And those guys have bought in and they believe it. And so I don't care what happened. We're down 21-3 to Kansas City. There was no lack of trust, lack of faith. We believe that we're going to find a way to win. Went to overtime. They won the toss. Mahomes is going to take them down, score. And there was no panic. Hey, defense is going to go out and stop them. And all we need is a field goal. So sometimes not winning a toss in overtime can be an advantage. And we used it to the advantage. Defense stopped them, and we made a play. So some of those things, man. But the standard's been set in the building that we wanted to win it all, and we felt like we were good enough. Had a great team to do so.
No, that's facts, man. I appreciate you for talking through that and talking about the mindset. And one thing, like I've always had faith in this team just from the get go. I think a lot of Bengals fans, after we beat the Ravens like that early in the season, a lot of us were saying, hey, the Bengals could go to the Super Bowl. And I remember other fans from other fan bases were calling us delusional and all kind of crazy stuff like that. And you kind of talked about it with the playoff run. And obviously, a lot of Bengals Nation had confidence in it, but it kind of infuriates us as fans to watch after we beat the Raiders, right? And then they say that we got lucky with a call, a phantom call. Then we go into Tennessee, beat them on the road, and then the story is, well, that was only Ryan Tannehill. Even before that, it was none of that. We weren't supposed to have a chance. Then we go in, like you said, come back from 21-3 against Pat Mahomes because of our defense and because of our offense going out and doing what needed to be done, and special teams with McPherson at the end of the game. But the storyline is Mahomes choked it. Does that chip continue to grow for the Bengals? And are you guys hearing this? And is that something that you want to put to bed in the Super Bowl?
We don't really pay attention to outside noise. I know guys are on social media. So we're not deaf to it or blind to it. We see it, we read it, but it's about us. It's about us preparing each day. We know every game, any team can win. It's the best team that day. And so, we really have taken it upon ourselves to make it all about us and our preparation and what we do. And the games we've lost, it's really been us turning the ball over.
Yes, thank you.
A lot, and defense not making a critical stop. So we feel like if we just play mistake-free football, then we can be the best team out there. And people still think of the Bengals as a losing organization and this and that, and which is fine, but we don't really care about what the other outside noise thinks of us. We know what we are. We know who we are. And we've been focused in that way to take care of business 1 week at a time.
Well, if you're ever looking for some bulletin board material, just hit me up because I got it already. I keep receipts every single day of my life, and I go back and I follow up on them guys. So if you ever need something, just send them my way. I'll be sure to send you whatever you guys need because there's been a lot of people that doubted it, especially the JaMarr Chase pick, especially early on in the season, preseason. The drops got perpetuated. It got heightened and all this other crazy stuff that I didn't like. But it is what it is. As we move forward, let's talk Super Bowl. Biggest day of our lives, biggest game of our lives coming up right now. What are you thinking is going to be the key? Just let's take it to the team perspective. Let's not just take it wide receivers. Like what, like mentally, not game plan wise. Like mentally, what is the mindset coming into this game? Is it any different than any other week? Is there something different that you all have to do in order to win?
No, it's still a football game. It's still one between the lines. There's still going to be 100 yards. There's still going to be, there's really no difference when you get on the field in this game and in the first game of the season. That's what I told the guys as we entered the playoffs and started preparing for Vegas. It's the playoffs, but it's still football. It's still there's really no difference in the first game of the season. In this game, the only difference is really its finality. If you don't win, you go home. But in terms of our preparation, in terms of what you do on the field, just do what you've been doing. And that's the message, that we can't get caught up in the Super Bowl and this and that. We got to just keep doing what we've been doing since week one, since we played Minnesota, and just keep doing what we do. Have good days of preparation. Make sure we're taking care of our body. Make sure we're watching our film. When you get out to California, there's going to be distractions. We got to limit those distractions, and then play ball. And I feel confident with the group of guys that we have that we're going to do so. We didn't come this far just to make it to the Super Bowl. We're trying to win it, and that's the message.
How many? I just want to ask you real quick. How many days are y'all going to practice in California?
Should be a normal Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 3 days. Saturday will be a walkthrough, and then you play Sunday. Yep. So we're trying to take it just like a normal game week, and the preparation should be the same. The outside noise and attention, that's bigger. You only have 2 teams, so you're going to have all the media covering it. So the outside noise becomes greater, which we got to try to limit as much as we can.
That's why I asked you that. I'm like, how many days do I gotta keep all these California people away? I'm like, hold on, how many days we gotta get? Like, when is the play? Like, so how many days can I limit the opportunities for somebody to do some weird stuff out in California?
Yeah, well, I mean, our guys are focused. I don't
I'm
have.
about to say our guys are fine. It's those guys. It's the people out there. Like, I don't want
Yeah.
nobody distracting them. I want us like all the way 100%
You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about anybody else. We're gonna be focused guys and know how to prepare. They know how far we've come and the ultimate goal, what we're trying to accomplish. And so that's what it comes down to. And you can't get caught up in the hype and everything that's going on. We're going out there to win a game, not to party, not to win the off the field battle. When we step on the field, we're trying to beat the Rams and capture that trophy.
No, that's real. So one thing I want to ask you about, and people are really learning about, is Joe Burrow, right? Like, when did you guys know that just Joe Burrow was special and could just do the special things that he's done with getting the Bengals to the Super Bowl in his second season?
Well, the coaches, I wasn't a part of the interview process at the combine when he was coming out, but they said they knew right after that combine interview that he was going to be special. Just the way he retained information, the confidence that he showed, the poise in front of a staff, a whole organization was phenomenal. And then for me, when he came here and we didn't have any OTAs because of COVID, and so basically he came in August, I believe. That's when we started. Just first few days of practice, just the command that he had, the veterans gravitated towards him, the confidence, and then what he did on the field, just the type of throws he made, the arm strength, the anticipation. You knew that you knew you had a special talent. You had a generational talent. I played with Peyton Manning and Kurt Warner, Dante Culpepper, some great quarterbacks. And you knew that he was one of those guys that was going to be able to lead an offense, lead a team to great heights.
What I was going to say, you talked about the partying before, right? We're not going to do that, but afterwards, I'm gonna need an invite or something. I just need to get. I don't need to bring no cell phone, none of that stuff like that. I just need to know where we at. That's all I want to know. But
I'm trying to figure out the same. I'm having my wife deal with all the details and all that. But I know we go ahead and take care of business and we win this game. There's going to be a lot of partying in California, in Cincinnati, and we get back to Cincinnati. So that's the plan. I'm going to tell the guys you can have a lot of fun and partying afterwards, and if we go take care of business.
Right. I was like, first thing first.
First.
I'm definitely not trying to get you on track. And like you say, y'all got it taken care of. But when that game in, I'm going to need that text. I'm going to need something because I got to be a part of this. One of the other things I was going to ask you, I think people probably want to know this, or maybe you can give us insight. What is like a weird habit or something that you notice? Like, well, let's stick to the Migos. Like, let's stick to like one of those three right there. What is something that you notice that maybe nobody else probably wouldn't know? Is there like a superstition or anything that these guys do that you just think is like funny or something that you picked up on? You sell this TV is funny. I think sometimes he's not a guy that goes crazy on social. None of them really go crazy on social media. Yeah. So people are still trying to figure them out. And I think that's a reason why a lot of times on TV they don't get highlighted as much too.
Yeah, they're all kind of, quiet in their sense. They're not loud or boisterous or need the attention, so to speak. One of the things that amazes me is with these young guys now, the new generation is like JaMarr. He'll go out to practice and he'll have the diamond bracelet, and they're wearing jewelry, all sorts of diamonds, and just I'm be afraid that I'm gonna lose it. The piece is gonna fall off. I'm gonna lose it on the field, and just this generation, they don't care. They're gonna wear the gold, the diamonds on wrist, chains, and
Troy, it helps you. It helps your game.
Hey, it does.
If you would have put ice on like the whole time you were playing, I think your stats would have doubled probably, bro.
That's what I was missing, huh?
100%. Nobody's going to coach this type of stuff. I've been telling these guys, get more chains. Joe Burrow, get a chain. T, get another chain. Like, this is what it takes to be a champion. Like,
I believe in look good, play good. So that's what makes them look good. But we just try to have routine. We Saturday nights we'll have our receiver meeting during special teams. The guys that aren't on special teams, and we'll meet and walk through some things. And then we'll in our when we're at home in our facility, we got a basketball goal. So myself and Chase we'll shoot free throws, best of 5, and see who can win that. And
so is Chase the best one, or is it T? Who's the best basketball player out of those three? Who's the best one? 3?
I would say JaMarr is last. T, he's got size. He's like Kevin Durant. TB's a sharpshooter. So I had to say probably T number 1 just because of his length, and then TB, and then JaMarr. So
you said JaMarr is last, okay? Because he was telling somebody he could average 15 in the NBA.
That's what he said.
He told somebody that. He told a reporter.
He was lying. Yeah, he's lying. But now we have a good time, and I don't know if there's anything. They're so young. That's the thing that gets me is, when I'm talking to JaMarr, he's 21 years old, and and then T's young. They're all young, but they're just good people. That's the thing that I love about them is they're good, humble, hardworking, good guys to be around.
Man, I'm gonna tell you one thing, and I think somebody commented in here too, is like Auden Tate, right? That's one of the guys that he didn't. I'm sure the season didn't go the way that he wanted it to go or whatever. But man, can you tell us any insight on Auden Tate throughout the year or whatever, what his work habit is, or anything that you just appreciate about Auden Tate? Because he is a fan favorite, man.
Yeah, he is, and I know why, because he comes in quiet, doesn't say a whole lot, but works his tail off. Just I can't say anything bad about Tate. And didn't have the year he wanted. He had a bunch of injuries, but I know he's the type of guy that's going to bounce back next year. And he's still got a lot of years left in the NFL. Big, physical, great hands, 50-50 contested catch guy that works his tail off. So he's gonna make it. He's gonna be successful. And the thing about Tate, just like the other guys, is although he didn't have a great year and it didn't turn out the way he wanted, he's never complained, never bickered, never. Even now, he was on the sideline cheering, encouraging the guys, just as happy as anybody else, and so he's got a great character, and he's gonna go a long way in this league still.
Well, Troy, we want to be respectful of your time. We appreciate you for coming by. Is there anywhere where Bengals fans can follow you on social media or anything like that?
Yeah, right now I'm just on Twitter, Coach Walters 1, at Coach Walters 1. I'm not a big social media guy now that I'm not in college anymore. I don't have to worry about tweeting and tweeting players and telling everybody where I'm at and all that. So, but I'll get on because I like just seeing the Bengals love and what people are saying about the Bengals. So that's about the extent of me and social media, is just getting on, seeing what they're saying about the Bengals. But Coach Walters 1, and I appreciate everything you all do, the support, talking noise, talking trash, and we look forward to going out there 2 weeks, Super Bowl Sunday, and giving the fans a great game and trying to bring a championship back to Cincinnati.
Oh, and congratulations as well with your son, man. We were glad that everything went well with Win, and that was a blessing, man.
Appreciate it. God is good and watched over him and blessed him, and he receives all the glory. So just been a 100%. Great 2022 so far.
Man, is it ever?
We're gonna have to send them Amigos onesie or something like that.
Yeah,
we got some stuff.
Y'all have after we take care of business. You have a lot of things clothing gear to make.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. Now we got some designs for you, and like you said, you guys gonna handle business on social media. I promise you, I'm gonna hold it down. Me and Ace gonna hold it down like never before. Even if it ain't trash talking, it's gonna be 100% the truth. I'm
That's
gonna
it.
I'm gonna give them the truth like they never heard it before.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate y'all.
All right, brother Huda. We appreciate Troy Walters for joining us. This has been the Orange is the New Black podcast. And Zim, we gotta end this with a yes.
Sirski.
Hello, world. What separated your deep ball from everybody else?
My deep ball, it has a little secret sauce to it, man.
Never get too high, never get too low, but just keep moving.
The whole story is Carlos never beat me in any kind of sports in high school.